Structural quality refers to the variables in the early childhood program that are regulatable, that we can count, that we can enumerate easily. So, for example, the square feet that are available to children, the square feet in the space, the training and the capacity of the workforce, how many children there are in a room, how many adults there are to children. These are called structural properties because they form the structure of the space and the environment. All of the data that we have indicate that process quality is very, very important. In fact, perhaps even more important than structural quality, because the nature of the child's experience is predicated on how people talk to him or her, how they greet the child, how they set up opportunities for engagement and for learning. It relates to the nature of the interactions between the teacher and the child. Is the teacher sympathetic? Is the teacher a harsh disciplinarian? Does the teacher ask the kind of questions that will evoke responsive thinking?
Para la primera infancia es fundamental que nuestro personal esté bien preparado. Es indispensable que las maestras sepan que este proceso es estructuralmente diferente de la educación formal, que durante la primera infancia no se aprende, sino que se aprende a aprender. Es indispensable que las maestras estén en capacidad de ayudar a los niños a manejar sus emociones, es indispensable que ellas estén en capacidad de manejar los grupos, de enseñarles a negociar, a conversar, a compartir, y que es un proceso individual del niño que a través de la exploración, de jugar con sus compañeros, de escuchar historias, de cantar, aprende a identificar todo aquello que va a necesitar después en la escuela formal. Yo creo que es muy factible entrenar a nuestras maestras a través de programas técnicos, vocacionales y más prácticos.
I can say that I have seen very, very well-trained, very competent individuals who have vocational training carry out important roles in early childhood classrooms. It would be better if individuals had a BA level training to carry out this work, but it certainly is possible.
Siempre y cuando se cumplan los requisitos indispensables para que las maestras tengan las habilidades apropiadas.
There are a few key variables that are important in these training programs. The first is that it must be based in research, that we really want to be teaching things to teachers that we know have proven efficacy. The second is that it must be practical. It must have a hands-on aspect. We can't just expect people to learn these things without giving them an opportunity to practice and to apply. We cannot expect teachers to master these skill sets instantaneously. So we've got to provide for long-term professional development programs what is not feasible and what is problem both in Latin America and the Caribbean and also throughout the world is that there is a misconception that anybody can work with young children. And so we bring in volunteers, we let them observe in programs for a little bit and then turn them loose with children on their own. This does not work. Volunteers have a role to play in service delivery. We want to welcome them into our programs, but they should not be put in charge of a group of children. There are things that teachers need to do in the way they ask questions. Let me give you a concrete example. I can ask you a question, is the sky blue or purple? And hopefully you would say, well, on most days it's blue. That is considered a convergent question. There is one answer, the answers converge on a point. If you ask a child, however, well, what colors do you think make up the sky? It's the same basic question. That is divergent thinking because it demands that the student elicit the response. These are the kinds of things that teachers learn, and we know that when teachers employ, that's just one little example, but many of these techniques, that indeed they can elicit more creativity and more impact from the interactions that students experience. The data indicate that teachers who have more professional training demonstrate better capacities on these process variables.
Es importante tener unos diseños logísticos que sean apropiados para que el personal pueda participar. Por ejemplo, es indispensable que esté en horarios adecuados. Tiene que de alguna manera minimizarse los costos adicionales. Muchas veces estas capacitaciones requieren materiales, costos de uniforme, costos de transporte por parte de las maestras, y estos costos son costos a veces altos en los que ellas no pueden incurrir. Nosotros hemos hecho evaluaciones de programas de capacitación para proveedores de cuidado infantil en programas de primera infancia en Colombia. Encontramos que capacitar a las maestras de modalidades de atención infantil produce unos cambios muy importantes en la calidad del cuidado que ellas ofrecen, porque está más estructurado el día, los contenidos pedagógicos son más relevantes, más apropiados, se manejan mejor las emociones, mejoran los indicadores de desarrollo verbal, los indicadores de desarrollo socioemocional, como la manera en que inhiben algunas emociones negativas. Este en particular, que hemos evaluado con estos resultados tan positivos, da unas relaciones de beneficio a costo de 11, es decir, por cada $1 que el Estado invirtió en capacitar a esa maestra, un niño beneficiario de esa maestra capacitada gana $11 por cada año de vida laboral cuando sea adulto. Es decir, hay un gran beneficio de haber capacitado a la maestra.